Walk into the average repair shop, and chances are the mechanic already knows how to make money off you, whether your car needs the work or not. In fact, surveys show most drivers don't trust auto shops, and honestly, with good reason. The truth is, the industry runs on upsells, scare tactics, and fake urgency. You go in for a simple oil change, and suddenly you're told you need a $400 flush, new brakes, and factory parts only, all in the same visit. Most people nod, pay up, and leave, never realizing they just got hustled. That stops today. I'm breaking down 17 mechanic scams everyone falls for, the tricks they use, why they work, and how you can shut them down before they empty your wallet. And listen, some of these are small-time ripoffs, but others, they're big-dollar scams that could cost you thousands. And one of them, which we'll get to later in the video, is so outrageous that even experienced drivers keep falling for it. You do not want to miss that one. All right, let's expose scam number 17, the urgent fluid flush. We start the list with one of the oldest tricks in the book, the urgent fluid flush. Here's how it goes. You bring your car in for something simple, maybe an oil change, and the mechanic suddenly tells you, your coolant looks terrible, you need a flush today. They'll even hold up a dirty-looking sample in a little tube to scare you. But here's the truth. Most modern fluids, coolant, brake fluid, transmission fluid, are engineered to last 50,000 to 100,000 miles. Shops often push flushes at 30,000 miles or less, just because it's easy profit. That sample they show you, it might not even be from your car. And even if it is, fluids often look darker long before they actually lose effectiveness. So, how do you protect yourself? Always check your owner's manual first. If the manual says you've got another 20,000 miles before service is needed, trust that, not the upsell pitch. And if they still push, ask for proof. A proper test strip or lab check can show whether the fluid really needs changing. Bottom line, an unnecessary flush costs you anywhere from $100 to $300, and skipping it when your car doesn't need it won't hurt a thing. Don't let fear-based sales tactics drain your wallet. Scam number 16, the mystery check engine light. This one preys on fear more than anything else. You see that dreaded check engine light pop up, and the mechanic immediately makes it sound catastrophic. They'll say things like, could be the catalytic converter. That'll run you over $1,000. But here's the truth. Half the time it's something small. The EPA reports that one of the most common causes is simply a loose or faulty gas cap. Other times it's a cheap oxygen sensor, or even just a temporary misfire. The real problem is, if you don't know how to read the codes yourself, you're at their mercy. That's where the scam comes in. They toss around technical jargon, bank 1 sensor 2, evap, system failure, to overwhelm you into approving expensive repairs. Here's how to fight back. Buy a simple OBD2 scanner. You can get one online for about $20. Plug it into the port under your steering wheel and instantly read the code yourself. A quick Google search will tell you if it's serious or just a $15 fix. So instead of panicking when the light comes on, arm yourself with the right tool. Don't let a vague dashboard light turn into a $1,000 scare tactic. Scam number 15, unnecessary air filter replacements. This one is a classic upsell. And it's sneaky because they always show you the proof. The mechanic pulls out a filthy-looking filter, waves it in your face, and says, look at all that dirt. You need a new one right now. But here's the catch. That filter might not even be yours. Some shops keep an old, grimy filter on hand just to scare customers. Meanwhile, your actual filter could still have thousands of miles of life left. The truth is, most air filters last anywhere from 15,000 to 30,000 miles, unless you're driving through dust storms or dirt roads every day. The Car Care Council found that nearly 1 in 4 drivers gets tricked into replacing filters way too early. Here's how to protect yourself. Check it yourself. Pop the hood, open the filter box, and look. If light still passes through the material, you're fine. Take a picture beforehand. Snap a quick photo of your filter before the inspection. That way, if they try to show you something totally different, you'll know. Buy your own filter. Most cost $15 to $20 online, and it's a 30-second DIY job. So next time someone dramatically waves around a dirty filter, don't just hand over $100. Make them prove it's actually theirs, and whether it really needs replacing. Scam number 14, the synthetic oil upsell. This scam works because it sounds logical. You bring your car in, and the mechanic leans over and says, "You really should switch to synthetic oil. It's way better for your engine." And sure, synthetic oil does have benefits. It handles extreme heat and cold better, and it's great for performance cars or heavy towing. But here's the truth. If your owner's manual doesn't specifically call for synthetic oil, you don't need it. Consumer Reports found that nearly 75% of cars on the road run perfectly fine on conventional oil. Mechanics know this, but they also know that synthetic oil costs twice as much and puts pure profit in their pocket. The sales pitch usually sounds like this: synthetic oil reduces wear and keeps your engine clean. And while that's true, your car isn't suddenly going to explode because you're using conventional oil. Here's how to avoid the trap. Check your oil cap or manual. If it says conventional is fine, stick with it. Don't get pressured by upsells. If they can't show proof your car requires synthetic, it's just sales tactics. If you want synthetic, buy it yourself. It'll still be cheaper than what the shop charges. So, unless you're driving a turbocharged sports car through the desert, conventional oil is just fine. And you'll save $40 to $80 every single oil change. Scam number 13. The brake pad scare. Picture this. You take your car in for a routine oil change, and a few minutes later, the mechanic walks out with a serious look on his face. He says, "Your brake pads are dangerously low. You really shouldn't be driving this car. We can replace them for you today." Most people panic at that point. Brakes are life or death, so of course you agree. But here's the scam. In many cases, those pads still have plenty of life left. Mechanics know that most drivers don't know what low actually means. Here's the truth. Brake pads don't need replacing until they're down to about 3 millimeters, but shops will push for replacements at 5 or even 6 millimeters, completely safe to keep driving on. They exaggerate to make an urgent sale, and you're stuck with a $400 bill for work you didn't really need. So, what should you do? Always ask to see the pads yourself and get an exact measurement. If they won't show you, that's a huge red flag. And if you're unsure, take the car somewhere else for a quick second opinion. The bottom line, don't let fear tricks drain your wallet. If your car isn't squeaking, grinding, or pulling when you brake, chances are you're still fine. Scam number 12, the fake factory-only parts. You drop your car off for a repair, and when the mechanic calls you back, they hit you with this line: "We can only use genuine factory parts. Anything else could damage your car or void your warranty." That little sentence is designed to scare you into opening your wallet wide. Here's what they don't tell you. OEM, original equipment manufacturer, doesn't mean the part is special or exclusive. Most of the time, the same companies that build OEM parts also make aftermarket versions from the same materials, sometimes even on the same assembly line. The only difference? The logo stamped on the box, and the price tag. Take a common example, a Honda Civic oxygen sensor. At the dealer, they'll charge you $250 for the OEM version, but the aftermarket version, built to the exact same standards, sells for about $75. Both work, both last. The only real difference is that the dealer makes a much fatter profit. The National Automotive Parts Association even did a study and found that nearly 90% of aftermarket parts perform just as well as OEM. That's why shops love to push factory-only parts. It's pure margin for them. Now, here's where it gets sneaky. Sometimes mechanics will say, your warranty will be voided if you don't use factory parts. But that's not true. In fact, the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act specifically protects you. Manufacturers can't deny a warranty claim just because you used quality aftermarket parts, as long as they meet the proper standards. So next time a shop insists, factory only, don't just nod and pay. Ask for proof. Ask if there's a certified aftermarket option. And if they refuse to even discuss it, that's not about protecting your car. That's about protecting their profit. Scam number 11, overcharging for easy fixes. This one is sneaky because it preys on convenience. You bring your car in for something simple, an oil change, a tire rotation. And then the mechanic casually adds, "By the way, your cabin filter looks dirty. We can swap it for you today." Sounds harmless, right? What they don't say is that a cabin air filter costs $10 to $20 online and takes less than 5 minutes to replace. Slide out the glove box, pop the old one out, push the new one in, done. But in the shop, they'll bill you $100 or even $150 for that service. And the same goes for wiper blades or even headlight bulbs. A 2-minute fix suddenly turns into an $80 labor charge. Shops know most drivers won't question it because the words filter or electrical sound technical. But in reality, these jobs are as easy as changing the batteries in your TV remote. Here's the kicker. Mechanics often bank on you not realizing how simple these things are. They'll tack it onto your bill because it looks minor compared to the bigger repairs. Who's going to argue over $50 when you're already spending $300? The truth is, these quick swaps are some of the easiest DIY wins you'll ever get. Search your car's make and model on YouTube, and you'll find a step-by-step guide showing exactly how to do it yourself in minutes. And once you see how easy it is, you'll never pay shop rates for a cabin filter or wiper blade again. So the next time a mechanic suggests a quick replacement, remember, it's quick for you too. Don't pay steakhouse prices for fast food jobs. Scam number 10, phantom repairs. This one is the dirtiest trick in the book because you can't see it unless you're paying close attention. It works like this. You're told your car needs a new fuel pump, a timing belt, or maybe a transmission flush. The shop gives you a scary rundown of what could happen if you don't do it, so you agree. You pay hundreds, sometimes thousands, thinking the job's been done. But here's the ugly truth. Sometimes, nothing was touched at all. The part you paid for never got replaced, and the service never actually happened. The Federal Trade Commission has reported billions lost every year to repair fraud like this. I've even heard stories where someone paid $600 for a timing belt replacement, only to find out later the original cracked belt was still sitting in the engine. No new parts, no labor, just pure theft dressed up as car service. So, how do you protect yourself? Always ask for the old parts back. If they claim to have swapped something, you should be handed the worn piece they pulled out. No old part? That's a giant red flag. You can also request before and after photos of the repair. Any honest mechanic will gladly provide them. And here's another pro move. Check your invoice carefully. If you see vague terms like system service or adjusted components, that usually means they don't want you to know what was or wasn't actually done. Bottom line, if you're paying for a repair, you deserve proof. No parts, no pictures, no details, walk away, and never go back. Scam number 9. Warranty void. Threats. This one plays on fear more than anything else. You take your car to the dealer for a routine oil change, and suddenly they hit you with the line. If you don't service your car here, your warranty will be void. Sounds terrifying, right? Nobody wants to risk losing coverage on an expensive car. But here's the truth. It's nothing but a scare tactic. Thanks to the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act, dealers cannot legally void your warranty just because you went to an independent shop or used aftermarket parts, as long as the work is done properly and meets manufacturer standards. Yet dealerships use this trick all the time, because it keeps you coming back to their service department, where prices are double, sometimes triple, what a trusted independent mechanic would charge. For example, a simple brake job that's $250 at a local shop could be over $600 at the dealership, all thanks to that empty warranty void threat. So, here's how you fight back. Always keep records. Hold on to receipts and documentation from any shop that works on your car. If a dealer tries to deny a warranty claim, you have proof the maintenance was done correctly. And if they still give you trouble, file a complaint with the FTC. They've cracked down on this scam before. Remember, your warranty is tied to your car, not to their service department. Don't let them bully you into overpaying. Scam number 8, fake or overpriced additives. Ever had a mechanic recommend a special fuel treatment or an exclusive headlight restoration service? They'll pitch it like a miracle cure. Better fuel economy, smoother idle, headlights shining like new. Sounds tempting, right? Here's the truth. 9 times out of 10, these are pure profit scams. That $50 windshield washer fluid. It's the same formula you can grab at a gas station for a few bucks. The $80 fuel system cleaner they pour into your tank. Most modern fuels already contain detergents that do the same job for free. And those cloudy headlights? A $10 kit from the auto parts store can do just as good a job as their $100 professional restoration. Shops love these add-ons because they're easy, fast, and no one questions them. They'll say things like, "This is what the pros use," or "You won't find this in stores." But in reality, they're just marking up basic products you could buy yourself for pennies on the dollar. The fix is simple. If it sounds too good or too expensive to be true, it probably is. Always do a quick check online before agreeing to additives or treatments. Chances are, you'll find the same thing on a store shelf for a fraction of the cost. Scam number 7, the shock and strut mileage myth. Ever heard a mechanic say, "At 60,000 miles, it's time to replace your shocks and struts"? Sounds official, right? Like it's written in stone. But here's the catch. Shocks and struts don't wear out on a timer. They wear out based on how and where you drive. If you're constantly hitting potholes, hauling heavy loads, or driving rough roads, sure, they'll wear faster. But for a lot of drivers, shocks and struts can last well past 100,000 miles with no problem. Yet many shops push the mileage rule just to get you to fork over $1,000 or more for a replacement you don't even need. Here's how you spot the truth. Press down on each corner of your car. If it bounces more than twice before settling, they may be worn. If it stabilizes quickly, you're fine. Also, look out for real-world signs, excessive body roll, uneven tire wear, or a noticeably rougher ride. If you don't feel those issues, you're likely good to go. Don't let a number on an odometer scare you into unnecessary repairs. Always get a second opinion before signing off on pricey suspension work. Scam number 6, inflated labor hours. This one is sneaky because on paper, it looks legit. Shops often bill by what's called book time, a standardized estimate of how long a job should take. Sounds fair until you realize an experienced mechanic can finish that same job in half the time, but you're still paying for the full hours. For example, replacing an alternator might have a book time of 2 to 3 hours. A skilled tech can often swap it out in 45 minutes. But the bill? Still 3 hours of labor. That extra hour or two goes straight into the shop's pocket. Here's the trick. Always ask for a breakdown of labor charges before you approve the work. Then compare it with resources like RepairPal or your mechanic to see if the hours line up with fair estimates. If they don't, or if the shop can't explain how they came up with their number, that's a huge red flag. And remember, labor padding doesn't just hit your wallet once. It adds up across multiple jobs. Always question the hours and don't be afraid to push back if they don't make sense. Scam number 5, the free inspection trap. Who doesn't like the word free, right? That's exactly why this scam works so well. Shops lure you in with a free inspection, no strings attached, they say. But once they've got your car on the lift, suddenly they discover a long list of urgent repairs. Your belts are cracking, your suspension is shot, your fluids are contaminated. And of course, they just happen to have the parts in stock and can fix it right now. Sounds convenient until you realize most of those problems are either exaggerated or completely fabricated. Here's the reality. Minor surface cracks on a belt are normal, not dangerous. Suspension parts often last far longer than they claim. And fluids? They love to show you dirty samples that may not even be from your car. The fix is simple. Never approve repairs on the spot. Thank them for the inspection, take the list home, and get a second opinion. If the issues are real, another shop will confirm it. If not, you just saved yourself hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. So remember, when something is free in the auto world, chances are it's going to cost you later. Scam number 4, the alignment every visit. Scam. You go in for a simple oil change, 20 minutes in and out. But then the service advisor leans in with a serious tone. By the way, your car really needs an alignment. Sounds urgent, right? After all, who wants to drive a car that's out of line? Here's the truth. Alignments are not routine maintenance. You don't need one every few thousand miles, and you definitely don't need it every time your oil gets changed. Shops push this because it's a high-margin service. Quick for them, expensive for you. In reality, you only need an alignment if you've hit a massive pothole, been in a fender bender, replaced suspension parts, or if your car is showing real symptoms like uneven tire wear or pulling to one side. Otherwise, you're just paying for a service that changes nothing. So next time they recommend an alignment, just because, ask them to show proof. If your steering wheel is straight, your tires wear evenly, and the car tracks fine, you don't need it. Save the money until you actually do. Scam number 3, the battery replacement push. Picture this. You bring your car in for a routine service, and the mechanic comes back shaking their head. Your battery's testing weak. We really recommend replacing it today. Sounds scary, right? Nobody wants to get stranded with a dead battery. But here's what they don't tell you. Batteries often test weak simply because the car's been sitting, or maybe you left the lights on a little too long. In many cases, a proper recharge or a good highway drive is all it takes to bring it back to full strength. Shops know most drivers won't argue, so they push a brand new $200 battery on you, when in reality, you didn't need one yet. Most modern car batteries last 4 to 6 years, depending on climate and usage. If yours is only a couple years old, chances are it just needs a boost, not a replacement. Pro tip: keep a cheap battery tester at home, or ask for the actual test results. If they can't show you clear proof the battery is truly at the end of its life, you're probably being upsold. Scam number 2, the rust protection or undercoating scam. This one usually happens at the dealership, right when you're buying a car. The finance manager leans in and says, "You'll definitely want our lifetime rust protection package. Without it, your car could rot out in a few years." It sounds terrifying. Nobody wants their shiny new ride rusting away. But here's the truth. Nearly every modern car already comes with factory-applied rust protection. Automakers use galvanized steel, advanced coatings, and sealants during production. So, your vehicle is designed to handle years of rain, snow, and salt without falling apart. Paying thousands extra for an undercoating or spray is pure profit for the dealer. Worse, some shops apply these coatings incorrectly, trapping moisture inside panels and actually causing rust down the road. So instead of protecting your car, you're speeding up the damage. The bottom line? Unless you live in extreme conditions like constantly driving on salted winter roads, your car doesn't need the miracle undercoating they're selling. Stick to regular washes, especially underneath in winter, and you'll get the same, if not better, protection for free. Scam number 1, the bundle discount trick. This one might be the sneakiest of them all because it feels like they're doing you a favor. The service advisor leans in and says, "We can save you money today with our complete maintenance package. Oil change, filter replacements, transmission additive, coolant flush, even a tire rotation, all bundled together for one low price." On the surface, that sounds great. Who doesn't like a discount? But here's the truth. The bundle is designed to overwhelm you. By stacking 5 or 6 services together, shops make it harder for you to question which ones are actually necessary. Most drivers just nod along, thinking they're getting a deal. But when you break it down, it's almost always a ripoff. You might be paying for services your car doesn't need yet, or at all. For example, that coolant flush they added. Your manual might say you don't need one for another 30,000 miles. The fuel system cleaner they slipped in. Modern gasoline already comes with detergents built in. Even something like a cabin filter replacement might be premature, especially if you just had one done. So that $300 discount package often includes $150 to $200 of fluff. And the kicker? By upselling it as a deal, they actually make more profit than if you'd only done the 1 or 2 real services your car actually needed. The way to beat it is simple. Never agree to a bundle without seeing an itemized list. Compare it to your owner's manual and only approve the services that are truly due. The rest, skip them. What looks like savings is usually just a padded bill designed to empty your wallet. And there you have it. 17 of the most common scams mechanics pull exposed. Now you know the tricks, the upsells, and the fear tactics designed to drain your wallet. The next time you step into a repair shop, you'll spot these scams before they spot you. But here's the thing. You don't just want to avoid wasting money, you want to actively save it. That's why in our next video, I'm breaking down 17 car repair secrets that will save you over $2,000 every year. It's full of insider hacks that every driver should know. Click here to watch it now, and keep your car running strong without ever getting played again.